Cheers. Hello, good morning my friends. How do you do? It is 8:53 a.m. and today we are going to be day drinking and smoking cigarettes at 9 a.m. Indeed. What an enriching activity we are going to go do today, Connie, you say? Well, look, enriching for the body, not a chance, but enriching for the mind. Now I can make an argument for that. I was sat here having my cornflakes and my mint tea, which I still have to get through, it's quite warm. And in a moment I'm going to go get ready so we can go fetch for a spot for our morning activity of today. Also, new leaf. This is a baby new leaf that came through this week and it's half white. I still didn't have any leaves that were half white on my Thai constellation, so she's going to be very, very beautiful, and I wanted to show you before we part into our endeavors. Also, I put all my guitars here instead of there, and I put the table that was here there. So those are the room updates as of now. All right, let's get this party started. All right, I am ready, and in my bag I am taking the following: Somersby apple cider 4.5% volume of alcohol, my pencil case, which is for journaling and reading, my current book, which is A Room of One's Own, and my journal. And we're going to go on a walk and fetch for a nice place to sit down and do our morning activity. Let's go. I'm having a little bit of trouble finding a spot just because I want somewhere that is nice and quiet, but also has a beautiful backdrop of greenery and leaves, and I want to be near trees, the usual, I guess. Yeah, I've tried one spot before, but it was very noisy, and I'm walking to another one, and let's see how it feels. Alrighty, I have found the spot here that I think matches the vibe for today. It has the silence sometimes, it has the greenery always, and so the first thing I'm going to do is open my Somersby, which today has to be with one of these. Cheers. This is basically the only alcoholic drink I ever have, and I only have it about once or twice a month, but I don't know, I get a specific craving that requires the freshness of a Somersby. I don't know, bro. Yesterday I couldn't sleep well at all. I'm going through another one of my cycles of bad sleep. Have my portable ashtray, but yesterday was actually quite productive, my insomnia, because I learned something quite major about myself that I think could really help in understanding my patterns and fixing them. So I realized that one of the things that I do the most when I can't sleep and I'm just thinking endlessly to myself is I problem solve. However, I problem solve things that don't exist and have never happened. So at some point yesterday I caught myself thinking, well, what if all of my family died suddenly right now? What would I have to do first? And then I started actually trying to, get through the steps of what I would have to do, going through my insane amount of grief, while at the same time having to try and keep on going and do the things that I had to do. But I always go to these places of complete insanity, of things that the chance of them happening is so low. In my day-to-day life, I am generally a problem solver. I like helping my friends and family members solve whatever they are going through and try to find solutions that we both, find to be satisfactory. And I like thinking about my own issues with sort of a logical approach, thinking of, steps that I could take in order to fix whatever needs to be fixed. And I wonder if this translates into my anxiety and makes me want to predict or try to predict everything that could possibly happen so that I can solve it beforehand, so that if it actually happens, I already have a plan laid out. Which is insane, because the amount of rumination and thinking that I do for things that have never happened and probably will never happen seems to me like a big waste of time and energy. And so yesterday I finally caught myself and I realized that one of the things that keeps me up at night is trying to predict all of the things that could possibly go wrong and therefore solve them. And then I was writing in my journal for a little while after I made this revelation at around 3 a.m. and I decided that I have to start stopping myself whenever I see that I'm again starting to try and fix something that isn't happening currently. There are plenty of dogs going on walks today, which you can probably hear all across. It's a nice morning, a little bit colder than usual, which is great for a break of this heat. It's been a week of my Instagram break and I've been feeling a lot better actually, but I also think I might have been a little bit black and white with it. I have a tendency to do that, so I have been opening up Instagram about once every 2 days on my computer because I like answering you guys' messages and I think it's a nice way to communicate with each other. Sometimes you send me memes and photos of cats and I really appreciate that, and so I wouldn't want to completely shut off that part of life. But I think that just taking a break from scrolling has felt really, really good. And one thing that I didn't realize is that by scrolling I was wanting a lot more things than I actually need. So I would see a lot of plant and journaling reels and I would see this new stationery item that I had never heard of before and it looked really cool and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should get this for myself too. It seems like it would be really cute in my journal, yada yada yada, all of these things. I kind of always left the application with a feeling of lack. And I have such abundance in my life, you know, not specifically material, but in a lot of different aspects that I cannot believe that I would even allow myself for a second of the day to feel a sensation of lack of anything, because I'm truly very, very grateful for the position that I'm at currently with a great support system and a roof over my head and food and my plants and the things that I already have and have been working towards and have built and created, that it is really just senseless to allow myself to have that perspective. I don't think everybody that scrolls on these applications will feel the same way. I'm pretty sure that there are probably people out there that can do a healthy amount of scrolling and feel great afterwards. Specifically if you're looking into a specific topic, like in my example, sometimes I would look for specific plant care. I just realized that I don't necessarily need to watch a 30-second video on a topic that I enjoy. I can instead go and read a blog or information online about the thing that I'm trying to learn. And that is probably going to end up feeling a little bit better and a little bit less rushed in my brain at least. I rolled this thing beforehand. I'm going to use my 2 cigarettes of the day at 10 a.m. in the morning, but you know, that's a problem for me later to deal with. I've usually been having 1 cigarette at around the afternoon time and then another at night time. And that's how I've been dividing my 2 cigarettes per day ration. That is also another thing that I feel quite proud of myself for, just realizing that I wanted to decrease my consumption and actually taking the steps to decrease and manage to in the end. In the first week or two, it was kind of a tough because I was used to giving myself a little bit more lenience and say, well, if I want another one, I mean 3 cigarettes per day, whatever, making all of these excuses as if any amount of cigarettes per day isn't harmful. You know, of course, 1 cigarette per day isn't good. I don't know, I guess in all aspects of my life, including smoking and everything else, I'm constantly analyzing the way that I behave, because my ultimate goal in life, I guess you could say, is to be a calmer, more pondered person. And there's a quote, I think it's by Epictetus, and he says something along the lines of, you cannot want to have the lifestyle of a healthy person while you are indulging in unhealthy behaviors in your day-to-day life. And I don't take this quote in the literal sense of health, but I do think of it as, I cannot want to be a calm and pondered person and then keep making rash decisions that are not properly thought of throughout my days, you know. One thing that I feel is true is that the way that you live your day-to-day life and the little moments in each day is the way that your life will look like as a whole, because the little things that you do make up for everything that is eventually going to be your lifestyle and your habits and your conduct, the way that you go about the world. And so I just try to be as mindful as I can of my behaviors and habits, while still not being massively strict and trying to be a perfect human being that does nothing wrong, because, you know, at the end of the day, everybody has their bad habits, whatever they may be. I feel like if you are somebody that is constantly thinking about things and checking yourself and asking yourself why you do the things that you do, making sure that you are still okay with the way that things are going, that you are not doing things that you feel you do not want to do. For example, me with my social media usage, for a long time I knew that I didn't want to be scrolling reels, but it was just too difficult. Actually, they had a hold on me. They were so colorful and engaging and interesting, and I actually thought I was doing a good thing because I was watching this information about things that I supposedly like. But at the end of the day, what I was doing was avoiding being bored at all costs, which is not good, because in boredom you actually make a really good amount of revelations, I think. And I was filling my brain with videos that could be really interesting, but that I would ultimately forget. I don't think I remember a single TikTok or reel that I ever watched, apart from the meow 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 trend, meow 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 meow, which was on TikTok a couple of years ago. I will never forget that. That was so fun. I loved hearing that freaking cat sing. I don't know. Anyway, I guess that, and this is kind of funny to say because at the end of the day, I'm here at 10 a.m. having a couple cigarettes and a beer, but it is what it is, I suppose. But I'm trying to be a little bit more balanced. Just try to live my days in a way that I feel is more fulfilling and slower, because everything feels very, very rushed these days, and I assume that you also feel this. You go from one place to the next without really having time or space to think about anything at all. There's a lot of work to do, there's a lot of hours, and there's less time for reflection, which I think is something that is very important to do. Just, I don't know, for you to be able to grow as a person, I guess. What do I know? At the end of the day, I'm a 25-year-old girl. I have absolutely no idea about anything. I have just now started to become very conscious about everything that I do and that is going around and that is going on around me. So now I'm going to go home and practice the piano. Yesterday I was practicing and I was playing really well, which is unusual for me to say because I feel like I can always find flaws. And there are still flaws, obviously, in my pieces, but I've been working on them very, very hard, and I feel like they are sounding a lot better. So I'll probably leave a clip of one of my pieces at the end of this video, just so you can see some progress. Watch me butcher it, by the way, because every time I'm like, oh, I'm going to record, it doesn't sound good anymore. So my friends, take everything that I said in this video with a grain of salt. I'm no therapist, I have no idea what is going on. This is just, you know, my experience and the way that I see the world. And it is going to change as I live. I hope it changes as I live. I never want to have a specific opinion or perspective and stick with it forever. I want to keep learning and be challenged. So yeah, I'll see you all very soon and have a great rest of your day. Bye! Oh, minha linda. Minha linda. So cute. I am at my mom's house now, preparing some coffee, which now is just milk. These are kind of like the post credits of the video. Today we have a very eventful house. Look who also came to say hi. Our chubby boy, João. And he smells so good. Do you have anything to say? Oi! Alrighty, my friends, it has been 3 hours of attempting to record this exam and practice. I am journaling a little bit and I'm going to go home for now and edit. And I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. I know I've said that already, so let's cut that part out. Me and Luna are chilling. And I'll see you all in the next week. Bye!